just for tonight. But in the day, you got me going right out of my mind. 'Cause I can't wait any longer. I want you to give it all to me. I want you to turn me on. And I wanna go a little harder. And I am not giving up my heart to you. Ooh, only wanna turn you on. Only wanna turn you on. You on, you on, you on. Only wanna turn you on. Yeah, yeah. 'Cause I only wanna turn you on. Only wanna turn you on. Only wanna turn you on. Yeah, yeah. Can't wait any longer. I want you to give it all to me. I want you to turn me on. And I wanna go a little harder. And I am not giving up my heart to you. Ooh, only wanna turn you on.
You're now listening to Out the Box Radio with your host, Kendall JP.
And with your co-host, Jared Master Swain. Say, no, I'm just playing. What's up, everybody? It's another Wednesday, so that means it's time for Out the Box Radio Show. Like I said, my name is Jared Master Swain, and I'm here with Kendall JP.
Whoop, whoop.
It has
Yes.
been such a week, ladies and gentlemen. I know that y'all been paying attention to the news, y'all been paying attention to sports, yada yada, all that nonsense. But we about to keep it. We about to keep it real tonight. We about to keep it fun. So I'm about to just jump right into it. Justin, I got a question for you.
For me?
Yeah, for you.
Oh, Lord.
And also for our guests here, because I recently went through something that I don't think I should have went through.
Uh-oh.
Oh. We all been there.
Yeah. So I gotta ask this question, and feel free to pull up whatever you want. But I
Okay.
have to ask: what is the most awkward conversation you have had ever? And I know that's a loaded question, but I
That's a
gotta know.
hard one.
Wow.
Yeah,
You gotta really think about that
No,
for a
it's
minute.
loaded, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah, I gotta think.
I was recently watching the show Survivor's Remorse on Stars. Very good show.
Heard of it.
I'm
Haven't
gonna plug
seen
it.
it.
No, I'm gonna plug it in just in case y'all don't even know. Y'all should watch the show. But on a certain episode, I was watching with some family members. They brought up the topic about dead bugging.
About what? Who?
Yeah, that's the thing. I was like, wait, what?
Is that all one word?
Yeah, it's
Dead
apparently,
bugging,
no,
dead bugging.
apparently it is one word.
Okay.
But
Mm.
they brought it up. I didn't know what it was, and then they explained what it was, and they made it a constant conversation about it in the show. To sum it up, dead bugging is eating the butthole out and
Oh.
going. Yeah. Like,
This conversation just got awkward.
exactly. Like, you feel how like awkward that
So
is.
that was on the show. They would.
No,
would-
they weren't doing it. They were just talking about it.
I'm gonna
That-
say because I need to get that channel. You said stars.
Yeah,
Wow.
stars.
Sound like they got some stars in it.
Yeah, but so they were talking about it, and they didn't do it. Thank the Lord.
Okay. Well, yeah. I
But-
mean,
and then family members who were watching this with me just jumped in on the conversation and started saying some incendiary comments about dead bugging. I'm like, wait a minute, I am related to y'all. I don't need to know any of this information. I would not like to hear any of this come out the mouth. So like, I was just like, you know, I was in my really weird, just everyone be quiet feelings. You know, like all my cousins in the room who I was watching this with was just like, oh my.
it's weirder that it's with family, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it was with my family, like people who I
It's
grew up around. Like, I know that we, just talk about stuff that like not a lot of people do talk
But you don't be
about.
talking
because
about
we
dead
family,
bugging.
because and anything.
Like-
But like, y'all, I don't need to know that.
I think the problem sometimes with family, just because we're family don't mean you have to be comfortable with me.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree
like-
with you on that.
That's
I agree with you on that.
Especially when it becomes of a sexual nature.
Yeah.
It's, you
And that's
know.
a little bit more than this. That topic's a
And
little
that's
bit more than
the sexual
sexual.
nature.
Yeah, that's a little bit more than
That's a
sexual.
little bit, yeah.
Explicit.
You know,
Like, it's like, look, it's one thing if you having troubles, you know, with your sexual relationship and problems in the bedroom. It's another thing to just put on Front Street exactly, you know, what. I can't even. I can't.
that's a good one though. That is a really awkward conversation.
Wow.
That's a very awkward conversation.
I left the room. I was like, no way. I'm not watching another show with y'all.
Hello, I don't want no more deep.
I don't
Look,
want
I'll
no
catch
more-
y'all on Thanksgiving Day.
I know,
We're gonna talk
catch
about
y'all on
praise and Jesus.
Thanksgiving.
Right?
You win.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all around the mac and cheese and the stuffing and the ham. Just no, homie.
Well, let's shoot it over to our special guest today, Derek Gray. By the way, everyone who's tuning in, we will be interviewing Derek here in just a bit, jumping right into it. But I'm curious, and I don't know if you can think of anything off the top of your head, because that's a good one.
Wow.
What would you say? Like most
Oh,
awkward
man.
moment or conversation, like anything.
Well, I have an older son. He's 4.
Okay.
The oldest
Oh.
right now. So I got 2 kids, 4 and
like
a
it.
2-year-old tomorrow, actually. Happy birthday,
Oh.
Lucas.
Oh, happy birthday!
Yeah,
Okay.
so basically, I think anytime that the 4-year-old starts to understand life and things of that nature and why
yeah.
mommy is different than daddy,
Oh.
those type of conversation always are a little awkward because at the same time, you don't want to start getting kids that have some type of complex
Right.
early in their life. You want them
Right.
to, feel good about themselves and the differences between men, women, whatever,
Yeah.
boys, girls. So anything like that, you find yourself feeling a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
At least, for me, I think. And yeah, the conversation got that way a little bit. It's kind of when okay, sometimes it's not time for you to see mommy and daddy when we, bathe anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the type of
Because that's when all the questions start coming out. Daddy,
Yeah.
what's that?
Yeah. Maybe that's the time to,
Yeah.
call it a day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about too. Like when I have my kid, is those conversations. Well, see, I'm very open-minded, so I don't mind talking about it, but I don't want her to be asking me questions at a young age.
Right.
I'm like, you'll learn it. Oh, trust me, the school she's going to is hood as hell, so she'll learn it when she's probably in 4th grade. So take your time, give yourself another year or 2, baby. You'll learn about it. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be having them conversations either.
No, I mean, like, when I grow up to be a parent, I would not want to have those conversations very early on. And if you think about, like, the way that children are growing up nowadays, social media, internet, and just the influence around society,
Right.
they're
Yeah.
going to learn it at a young age. Me, I feel like I'm a little bit of a dinosaur when it comes to like that. So I'm like, look, you ain't going to know about nothing until you hit high school.
Right.
Don't come to me asking
High
about
school.
I mean,
it may
those-
be too late then.
Yeah, by that time they've already tried some stuff and
That's my hope.
conversations. Ooh.
That's
just your hope.
That's my hope. I know
Right.
it's not going to happen like that.
That's every parent's hope. We don't want you dating or having sex until you a certain age. That's going to be a conversation you have, but that's not going to mean they're going to do that. They're not going to follow those rules.
True.
Unfortunately.
Rather than find out from me
Yeah.
than from someone else and give the
Exactly, right.
wrong information or whatever the case may be. And I think the more that we make it seem dirty or either be it sexuality
Right,
or
right.
whatever the questions may be, I think that's when we put ourselves in a little problem.
Yeah.
So we should be
Yeah.
open and free with it. I think we're the ones that kind of like taint the waters. That's myself personally.
Right.
I think. Let's keep it
See,
100.
But I also notice in a lot of parents, maybe it's just me, I don't know, being me, but what I notice from people I know who are single parents or, with a spouse, whatever, those parents who are honest with their kids and they have those types of conversations, I realize like the kids are much more of a friend, if you will, to those parents. Like they feel like you're not hiding anything from them, and like you're able to build a better bond and relationship. But then again, there's a time and a place and an age for that. So it may not be appropriate when they're under 5 years old.
Right.
but-
If they start talking about dead bugging at
Yeah,
5,
well,
then we got problems.
No,
And
look,
that's
my
something we don't
child
wanna
ain't
do.
go.
And
I hope my child don't walk in when I'm dead bugging in
No,
action.
oh my goodness.
So
But I digress.
look, I just changed the locks on my bedroom door, so trust me, my door gonna be locked if that's going down. You ain't gonna be walking in no dead bugging over here. Nope, no, thank you. I'm gonna keep mine simple and sweet because it's hard for me to think of one, to be honest with you. And I've probably had several awkward conversations, but nothing to me is awkward. Like I'm very open. Not literally. Don't go there. So look.
wasn't even
While we're
going
on
there.
topic,
You
I went
did
there.
that.
So I think that for me, it's like I don't know. It has to do with like okay, dating. So I've been single for 4 years. Oh, bless the Lord. I've been single, not really, but I've been single for 4 years, and it's been like a nightmare trying to even get out there and date. So I really don't try to make an effort that much anymore. I just wait and see whatever happens. If God puts it in place, it's in place, you know? But a few years ago, when I did go on a date with somebody, like, the conversation was very awkward, first of all. We knew each other for like maybe 2 months. We talked on, you know, where we met online and stuff like that, and we were talking. I don't know why I decided to be like, you know what, let me just give this awkward person a chance in person, because maybe they're better in person, they're just awkward over the phone. That was a bad mistake. We did go out in person. It got worse. It was like those dead, silent moments where you're sitting there and you barely know each other as it is, and you're just like, okay, like you're trying to think of what to say and not feel awkward, but it's so damn awkward. It's just like silent. It's quiet. So we're talking barely. We get towards the end of the date, and I start wanting to know more about him and his past relationships. So I start asking him more about, you know, like, what are you looking for? When's the last time you've been in a relationship? Things like that. Things I didn't know. I didn't already ask him. So we getting into it, and then he's starting to describe this person that he had just ended a relationship, like fresh, like before we started talking, like a week or two.
Oh man, that's a fresh wound.
Fresh.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, okay, so let's, you know, get into it. Things started to sound kind of like familiar to me, and just the way he was describing the person and things that are going on between him and them, and why he left them and their actions. And I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds familiar to me, because that's, you know, what I just went through. He was talking to my ex.
Wow.
He had just finished a relationship with my ex. And what's funny is when he started, I asked him, I said, so what is this person's name? Like, this sounds really familiar. This is good because we can relate. I said, what is his name? When he dropped his name, I swear my chin dropped all the way to the floor. I was so upset. When I say upset, I literally was like, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. You were effing with the same person I was just effing with, and we had a really bad breakup, and this is not going well as it is. I'm trying to have a conversation with you, but now I don't want to talk about anything. Like, I'm done talking to you, period. So literally that was the end of the date right there. Like, that was it. Never talked to him again.
Oh my.
But it's just ooh, that kind of made me mad, but at the same time just weird. Like, I don't know. That's what the one thing I don't like about the quote unquote gay community is that everybody has messed with everybody. It's like a nasty circle jerk.
Lord.
So it's like just a nasty circle of like people messing with other people. I don't like that. There's no genuinity behind it. There's no like surprise or nothing. Like, I mess with you, but you just messed with the last person I messed with before I met you. Literally, it's very disgusting. So that proved it right there.
Right, and just to speak on that, or at least pick up back on it, it's not just the gay community that does it. There's also other communities. I'm not going to name names because then I'm going to be putting people out on Front Street. I don't want to do that.
That's what I like to do. Look, I got to lift my mic up. That's what I like to do, Jared.
I got people I need to, you know, protect. Anyway, I've been around circles where that has been the same situation where everyone in the circle has, you know, ran through the team or like just ran through the circle, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
I'm not even trying to be a part of all this drama. I kept mine tucked in because of this reason. Like, I saw all of this coming from far away. So, you know what I mean?
I don't know. That's some crazy stuff. Well, that's a good topic, though. Awkward conversations, absolutely. And we're gonna get off of awkward conversations though, because now I'm just thinking about the last date and my ex, and I don't want to think about none of that stuff.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No, we turn leaves over here. No.
But y'all loose though, right? Like now see, look, now that y'all can laugh, like, you know, we good.
So we actually want to jump literally right into it and switch into this interview because we have a lot to discuss with Derek Gray here today. So those of you who may not know about Derek, very active in the entertainment industry in our community as well in the DMV, and we kind of want to focus on that and what your work is that you've done, what you have coming up. Okay. Literally, I feel like we're in the moment of when things are starting to come out for you, and that's this is like a good time for it. It's perfect. So I'm literally going to kick it over to Jared and let him start it because we just have so much. Right. We just have so much to talk about.
Right.
I'm excited.
So to start, why don't you just tell us about your role in the entertainment industry? I know, like, every single role you play, but like just for our listeners who don't even know, just tell them what your role is.
Right now, at this time, it's writing, directing, and producing, and acting in.
Yes,
the thing, and really, it's not as vain as it may come across, but it's a matter of at this point just money.
Yeah.
I love to write. I love to direct. the acting piece of it. I love to act as well, so when you can do those things and save money on it as well, that's awesome. So
Yeah, that's true.
that's where I'm at currently. But those are the roles that I play in all of these all the productions that I've done.
I mean, what takes the longest to do? In my mind, the writing probably, but maybe
I
I'm
would
wrong.
think so, too.
Maybe I'm wrong.
You know, you're absolutely right. The writing for me definitely takes the longest. It's a matter of the coming up with the idea,
Right.
then the outlining of it, then the writing. You know, for example, the next project I've done, the Lightworkers, for example, the most recent, I went through about 3 or 4 drafts of the first episode alone.
Wow.
To the point that the first table read actually had sent someone from the cast one of the first drafts. It's just
Oh,
so
wow.
you go
Yeah.
through these drafts and you're just trying to come up with the best storyline you
Right.
can. So yeah, that's definitely the longest. It takes the longest.
I can only
to do,
imagine, yeah.
the writing, sometimes the editing, depending on how things go. But I've been lucky that I also edit my stuff at this point, so at least I'm familiar with
Right.
what needs.
And
to
you
be
know
done.
what you want.
I know what I want.
You know what I want. Yeah. You know what you want. So you
Right.
can cut out whatever you be like now, or you put stuff in. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
So is that like an added motivation for you? You know, as in writing, directing, producing, acting, just so like you know that, look, if I'm in control of all of this, just take away the money for a side. If I'm in control of all of these aspects, I know that, you know, the vision can be right. You know what I mean? Is that an added motivation for you?
Yeah, and right now that's a big motivation for me, and I'm quite fine if somebody wanted to come along and produce an effort that I've done. But yeah, it's just a matter of knowing what you want. It alleviates some of the stress of knowing what it is that you want to see as a final product.
Right.
But the motivation really, when it comes down to it, is just the love of doing it and wanting to do it, you know, on a full-time basis. That's
Right.
that's where the motivation comes from me. Just being, you know, every day.
Right.
Just doing what you love to do. I mean, you can't ask for a better thing than
And
that.
so you are actively involved, like on this is what you do full time.
This is not what I do.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I was
well,
wondering.
I'll take that back. This is what I do full time. I just have other ways of creating
exactly
income.
right, which is important because
which
that's
is
what
important.
drives it all. That's
Yeah.
what drives it all. Yeah.
Exactly. So I work a regular 9 to 5 like anybody else, and then when coming home, after spending time with the kids, with my wife, my family, I then get right back to it. Normally, sometime between the hours of about 10 and midnight,
Yeah.
and then waking up, averaging between 4:30 until
Wow.
it's time to go to work, and then do it all over again.
Wow.
Not counting the weekends.
Right.
Especially now when I'm editing both products, so and then working on something new. So it's
Yeah.
about balancing your time
I
as
was
well.
that's probably like the number one priority is balancing.
Yeah.
Like you're literally on stage in a circus every day, like
And-
just
and
you have
discipline.
to. You have to.
And discipline.
Yeah.
I was just saying that earlier today about balance and discipline because
Yeah.
I forgot who exactly I was talking to. My memory goes like that. But like we're all artists in the room. And I was saying, you know,
Right.
no matter how much you love your craft or how much you love putting in the work or trying to, you know, make it to whatever level that you want to get to, if you have that goal,
Right.
you still got to maintain a certain level of balance within your life. You know what I mean? You can't have your craft just consume you 24/7. If you're one of those people, I'm not knocking you. Go ahead. I just wonder, you know, where's your balance? You know what I mean?
Right.
When
Right.
you take time to step away and recollect yourself so that way you can add something new to your craft. You know what I mean?
Right, and that's very important. And that's something that took me a while. A lot of frustration, broken relationships,
Yeah.
and issues where you can't give. You got to give 100% effort.
Right.
And that's the difference. People kind of get mixed up. You can give 100% effort, but at the same time, give more of yourself, your presence, of your time, your attention to things that are also important, like family,
Yeah.
about recreational things that take you away from the work. Because if all you have is the work, then, like you said, it's going to be hard to find those different motivations. It's going to be hard to, at the end of the day, make sure that you're giving attention to all the things that are necessary. And, getting married, my wife had to break it down to me, straight up. Like, hey, look, I shouldn't have to beg to
Right.
spend time with you.
Right.
And it was
Right.
weird because that's the same thing that I've heard in, like I said, past relationships,
Yeah.
friends, and things of that nature. So that was the moment where I like, okay, discipline, balance. I can still give 100%,
Right.
but find a way in which to even it all out.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to bring something in between. I'm going to
Go for
intervene in this interview real quick because I want
Go
to talk
for it.
about what you just mentioned.
Okay.
Two things with it. One, myself and Jonay, we did an interview like a couple months back, and we kind of touched on that because Jonay and I both, and Jared both, we all do acting as well.
Okay.
So one of the questions that came up was, how are you balancing like your relationships with always being busy?
Yeah.
And that was something that was like very concerning because, like you just said, for me as well, I've had impeding challenges within most of all of my relationships and right now I'm more open with my schedule, I'll be honest, because I'm focusing on my adoption. So I'm like, you know what, I've done what I wanted to do. I still want to do more, but like my focus is where it needs to be. Family, building family. But that was one thing that really got me, was knowing how to balance and how important it is to balance. If you're going to be in a relationship, you got to keep it strong and alive, so you got to balance it out. My fear, and I'm going to be honest and I'll tell everybody, my fear is I'm nervous, when having a kid, like I want to be able to still do what I want to do. And I know I can't think about myself now, but working full time, having this show right here, doing acting, which is a passion of mine, and then as a single parent, taking care of a kid at the same time. So I don't know, like you're not a single parent, but what would you say as far as like even your feedback, like what your thoughts on the process of being a parent, mixing those two things together with family, raising kids, but being able to do what you still want to do and work at the same time? Right.
Support. First off, who's your support? And where's your support system? Because you don't have to be a parent with another spouse or significant other to have a support. Supports come in all different packages and all different sizes. And then you have to ask yourself, if I worked a job, a typical 9 to 5, where the hours started at 11 p.m. and I didn't get home until 7 a.m., what would you do then? Most people would say the answer is I would make a way because I need to make a living.
Right.
I need to do it because this is important.
Right.
Why don't we treat our craft the same way? And that again, that's where we kind of get off on the wrong side of the situation here. We always look at our passions and our talents as something that I want to do, but it's something that I must do. And I'm a big advocate of, speakers and motivational speakers and things of that nature. It really gets me, motivated going into work and things of that nature. And Tony Robbins, is a big motivational speaker in the area, in the field. And he says, you got to change your musts. So what's your must? So as soon as you change your must to what I should do and change it to something, this is what I must do, your life changes. So to answer your question, for me, there's one day I just woke up and said, this is something I must do. I must make this work, and I have to treat it as importantly as I do my 9 to 5. So make a way. So relatives, hey, can you watch so-and-so between this time and this time? And if they can, great. And my wife does the same thing. She's active in other things outside of being a mom, being a wife. So what we have to do is we have to rely on our support system to make that happen. And we've been pretty successful, at doing it.
Good.
I'm right in line with everything that you're saying, because I have been feeling the same thing very recently, actually. The whole year I've been, I won't say consumed, but I've been very busy with, multiple projects, one after the other. And it's very exciting because, I'm getting a lot of work and I'm doing what I love, and I'm also making a little bit of money. But then I'm also realizing, like, wait, I haven't seen this person in a while. I haven't seen this person in a while, and I'm longing just to be in their presence again. And so now, with the year coming to the end, I'm like, okay, how can I still do what I want to do and yet make time for those that I would like to see, make time for those that I would love to care about? And so what I find now is that I'm starting to look for projects that are in line with what I want to, accomplish as an artist. Also look for projects or what I can book as an artist. Like, you got to keep in mind type and everything that's like not out of your reach, but also still look for a challenge. So I'm in the process of like figuring out, okay, what is something that I can realistically reach for, and also keep a little bit of time to myself. You know what I mean?
That's good though.
Balance.
So say it's all about
balance,
hitting that key word right there. So when we think of like production, there's several different genres, even obviously in television and film. So you have comedy, thriller, horror, whatever, drama. Your series that we're gonna get into and talk about. All the different series that you have, even the plans for the future series, like what genres do they encompass, would you say, or what is your favorite genre to encompass, what you enjoy doing the most?
Man, so you say that. Right now they've been mostly drama.
Drama. Okay.
Drama, or I would say dramedy. So it's drama with a mixture of some comic
Twist comedy. Yes.
elements.
Yes.
And it's not much really because of the fact that I love it so much. It's just it's become more so of I'm comfortable in this arena. But the film that I'll be working on next year in 2018 is my first romantic comedy.
Okay.
But even then, I wouldn't call it a comedy. I would just call it that situational type comedy type of thing. Like, we're not purposely going out there to make joke after joke after joke. It's the situation is comical. But yeah, that's what most of my projects have all since I started to really hone down and take it seriously. Yeah. They've all been, I'll call them dramedies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Now, before we get into the actual series and talking about some of those, let's talk about the programming and what you just launched. P.U.P. So tell us what P.U.P. is, what's the background, and for you, what does it stand for? What does it mean? What does it represent?
Welcome in.
Yeah. So positive uplifting programming on YouTube, P.U.P. So it's something that came up because I've been wanting to do something like this ever since I was a kid. I would pretend that I had my own television, channel, and I would have all of them, the type of shows that I'd want to watch. I would write the scripts and act them out and the whole 9 yards. And as I got older and life got in the way and things of that nature, I kind of got away from that. And then again, like I said, I'm listening to a motivational CD, and it says, what happened to your dream? The dream you had when you were a kid. That kid, he's still right, or she's still right. And I was like, you know what? That's right. So if I want to do this, let me go ahead and do it. And the age of web streaming and internet, you got the Netflix, the Amazon, the Hulu. I mean, YouTube, of course. There's all ways in which you can go ahead and make that happen, and relatively cheap too. So that's what made me decide to go ahead and do it. And positive uplifting programming was really just the idea of, let's go back to the time of the TGIF days, or when
I used to love those.
Television was an event. And when I go on YouTube and I look at the old shows, the comments, people are just so nostalgic nowadays. And all these revamps from Full House and 24 even had a revamp. All of these revamped shows. It's clearly we as people, we are nostalgic. So I said, let's create a channel that kind of reminds us of those days where you don't have to worry about, okay, can I watch this with my kid? Can I watch this with my kid? But at the same time, the adult is not bored to tears.
Right, exactly.
So P.U.P, positive uplifting programming, that's kind of where it all started.
Good.
Nice. So out of everything that is within P.U.P, which program was your favorite to work on, or which one are you most excited
for? That's going to be hard because he wrote everything.
I know, exactly. Well, you have a plethora of things that you worked on or are in the process of working on.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Man.
I love curveballs.
That's a good one. These first three, so we're talking about the Light Workers, Toll Booth, that was created by a friend of mine, Aisa Hunter, who's a writer, and I just developed it for the web. Okay. And the third one that we're working in 2018, Letters from Sam, those are always going to be my first kids in a sense, because these are the projects that kind of launched it. And when I really got so serious about it that I actually started to receive the blessings and the things from it. So I would say all three, and I'll tell you the reasons why, just so you know I'm not BSing you. The Light Workers, simply just because that was the show that I decided to do after a long hiatus. I got very close to having one of my projects produced on television, and the deal fell through. So I was left in a depression. I wrote a few books after that, and then I got back into it, and this is my first one after that. And so far, I'm very happy on how it turned out. So that's why I love that one. Toll Booth, again, because it was something that I didn't create. So here it is, I'm kind of given something. I didn't create it, but it's now my job to bring this story to life. And then the third would be Letters from Sam, because that'll be my first feature film with a budget. So these are all firsts for me, and I'm just very excited about this time. Yeah.
That's good.
I'm excited for you, because I know I don't think anybody can see from the camera, but there's a energy that comes out of you when you talk about your passion, when you talk about the channel. It's intoxicating. It's a little intoxicating.
I mean, you can tell that you put a lot of hard work into it and motivation, and something that I know, honestly, and this is what we do. I say this all the time. This is what we do in Out the Box. We like to talk about a lot of stuff that happens, behind the scenes, which we will definitely be getting into, because that's my favorite part of conversation is what happens behind the scenes, like people don't know about.
What do we not know?
But like that's one of the things, like you mentioned, as being, you being a director, a producer, even a writer. Like you mentioned, pitching a show to a network, and I know a lot of producers in LA of shows like Housewives of Atlanta, Bad Girls Club, you name it. Or any Housewives, actually. I shouldn't just limit to Atlanta, but and people pitch shows to them. And so I know on their end as the producer what it's like when they're sorting through, going through, making decisions. My question to you, honestly, would be when you were in that process,
right.
What was like the most, how long did it take for one? And like what was the challenge, the main challenge for you when it came to trying to pitch your idea? Did you have a network catch on to it, or was it just like they were kind of bidding on it or trying to decide where it was going to go?
I had a producer that was attached to the project. So I did the project in 2012, and then it was done, ready to be edited and all that good stuff, late 2013. We premiered it, the rough cut, in 2014, and a producer got attached to it. And then tried to assist me in getting it, ready for network television. She had a lot of contacts within the industry, but what it did was it brought to life a lot of the challenges that I had on the original project.
Yeah.
So here you've got people who are actually giving you money. We got like a new budget to reshoot some stuff, and here you've got networks that are interested in doing so, but you just can't get it off the ground.
Right.
And as you're doing that, time is ticking, and there's a lot of projects that came out since then that are similar to what this was.
Exactly.
And that's the stuff that really kills you,
Right.
because you're like, man, if I was just here,
Right.
I could have gotten somewhere with
Right.
that. But what kind of snapped me out of it is I got to look away from that and realize, okay, here are the things that made the show weak.
Mm-hmm.
And here are the reasons why we couldn't get the deal.
Yeah.
And because of that, it made the light workers so much better.
Yeah.
So much better just for me failing. I even hate using that word. It's failing in our eyes, but realistically, it's really not.
Right.
It's just opening your eyes to some areas of opportunity that you need to get where you need to go. And as long as you're open to that and not resistant to it, oh man, sky is the limit, because it took us a long time. Like I said, 2012, and the producer detached herself from the project in 2016.
Wow.
Yeah, 2016. That long.
Wow.
And it just didn't go anywhere. But I learned so much from it. I got it's been great for my reel.
Right.
It was always great for
Absolutely.
performers.
You got to build it. Yep.
Yeah, and the stuff that I learned, I was able to take to my next project and to the project after that. So it has paid in dividends for me.
Wow.
And so now the Lightworkers is also now we're working with a producer for the Lightworkers. So I'm right back to where I started, but with a lot more knowledge.
Okay.
Yep.
And so let's get right into that. We
Yeah.
talk about the light workers, and then in a second we'll talk about Toll Booth as well.
Cool.
So the light workers, what is that about? Like, what is the background of that series, and what is it going to give us as the viewers?
Okay. Well, yeah. So, at the same time I was going through my trials and tribulations with the movie and with my personal life, I had what we call like an out-of-body experience through meditation. And I got all this different information from this spirit named Harmon. And he would give me all this information about life and how to look at things and not take things so seriously, and just really eye-opening stuff that you wouldn't even imagine, and it really changed the way I looked at many different things in life. I wrote a book called The Sum of All Things, and I wrote this book based upon all the information that Harmon told me, which I really think is just my inner, my true self, who we really are, our spirit, the guide that's in all of us. And I wrote this down in this book, put it out there. I mean, it wasn't the best-selling book, just for the simple fact, although it's still in stores. I mean, on Amazon, But the reason I think is because but I think the reason is that it was delivered in a way that some people aren't there just yet.
Right.
It could be like speaking French to them, which I could get because the first time I tried to read books like that, until my experience, I felt the same way.
Right.
So fast forward a year later, I was like, you know what? I would love to take what I learned through this guide, but turn it into a show. So it would have entertainment value, again, to bring people in.
Right.
But underlining with, this is who we really are type of thing.
Right.
So still kind of getting out the same information that Harmon taught me, and still creating some entertainment value behind it. And that's what the light workers became. Light workers are pretty much all of us. Light workers are any person that before coming to Earth had okay, this is what I want to do because of this. And we all come here with those ideas, but life gets in the way, materialistic things and our distractions get in the way, and we forget that.
Right.
And when we forget those things, we realize we introduce a lot of drama to our lives and to the world, unbeknownst to us. So the light workers are basically about these three individuals who remember bit by bit who they are. And my character, Tony, he is pretty much where I was when this all started. Actually, the first scene of the light workers actually happened. And basically, he's trying to find his way into figuring out, okay, why do I remember things that happened to me, back in, biblical times?
Right.
And what does that have to do with my life right now? And through these questions, he runs into a woman by the name of Kate, who has already remembered who she is and the role she plays in Tony's life.
Okay.
And then we bring in other light workers throughout the season who assist in the bigger cause, which is how do we save mankind from destroying itself? Because again, if you don't remember who you are, you're not going to care in the destruction of the world, the planet, and that's the gist of the season.
Man, it sounds powerful.
No,
it sounds very powerful.
It sounds deep. And then also when you were describing it, you talk about your out-of-body experience and how you plug that into your television show. I wanted to ask you a question. I'm not even sure how to word this, but it seems like that nowadays, and maybe nowadays is not the right term because I don't know what happened, 35 plus years ago. I'm not that old. But it seems like artists are taking a lot of inspiration from their inner selves or their inner struggle, sort of say, to bring, meaningful art towards the forefront.
Right.
So where do you see either your art or just art in general going forward? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because usually when I try to do something, I try to find something that I can personally attach to somewhat. Not all the way, because, as artists, we all know that that's kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
But, just a little bit. Can you answer to that? If I made myself clear?
Yeah, so where do we see
Where do
art?
where do we see art going? And
Here's the thing. I think we're going to see art go where it goes. I mean, not to sound very vague about it, but I think the more that we're being honest with ourselves, we can see it go wherever we want to go. You see it already when you look online, like I said, and look at the shows that are getting picked up, the movies that are getting picked up, the stuff that's on. I mean, Will Smith has a movie coming out on Netflix about fairies and going into these different worlds. But if you look into it, the fairy is just a cover-up for what goes on in society, what's going on right now with police brutality and things of that nature. So I think the more that we expand our minds, sky truly is the limit, because we're back now how things were in the 1950s, 1955, right at the beginning, where television was only in a few households, where radio was still the main source of people's entertainment. And when radio kind of started to phase out and TV started to come in, people were hungry. People were experimenting with different ideas and thoughts and TV shows, from puppets like Jim Henson, for example, in the 60s, to now you see where that has gone. So I feel that's where we are right now. But there's always going to be some type of mode, some type of platform that's going to replace it. But I think as long as people continue to be hungry, experiment, and not just rely on what's safe, it's going to continue to go on and on and on.
Yeah.
All right, because I definitely see a lot more risk being taken with certain TV shows and even certain movies than I say 5 years ago. And I think that all has to do with, one, personal attribution, and then two, just the social climate that we're living in. I see art getting very, very deep.
Yeah. It's going to get it's very deep. We're going to rely more so on spirituality, not necessarily religion, but spirituality. And you already see movies of faith. I just saw a trailer for a movie of faith today, and you're going to see more of that. Plus, you're going to see more stuff of what's going on in the real world, because I think that's very interesting. And if you have a platform to be able to again bring somebody in, but also teach them a little something too, I think you've got a win-win solution there.
Yeah, I mean, you can really see the creative minds that are out there now compared to where we used to be, and everything.
Right, because not too long ago, people were just putting out stuff to say, "Oh, this is gonna sell."
Right.
But obviously, right now, meaningful art
Right,
is
exactly.
doing a lot, at
Not
least
just
in
the
my
product,
opinion.
right.
Meaningful art is doing a lot better
Right.
than selling art.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It shouldn't just be a product. It's not a product.
Yeah.
It's what if you're putting your heart into it and you have that creative piece, then it's more than just that. So, now what I want to do for, especially for all the viewers, because this is something that we literally just decided to do when we started the show, like 5 minutes before we started today. So when we get back from our break, I really want to talk about behind the scenes because that's what I love.
Yep.
I love it.
We're gonna get into it.
But we definitely want to show everyone the first episode, which was just released this week, right? Last week, this
On
week?
Monday.
On Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
On
25th.
Monday of the Light Workers. We talked about light workers, what it's about, and thank you for that information because it brought more meaning to me and insight on it. So we actually have the first episode to show you during our break, and we're happy and excited to show it. So everyone tune into this first episode of the Light Workers, which is actually on YouTube as well.
Correct.
And you're seeing it here first. Take a look.
Hurry, Ananias.
Halt! Stand as you are. Give me the book.
Bad dream.
Same one?
Yeah. Me and a woman are running, but it's me, but it's not me, you know? Is that a technical term, doctor?
No, more that of a concerned wife.
Yeah.
But professionally speaking, I would like to hypnotize you, see what's going on in that subconscious of yours.
Yeah. I don't know about all that.
Okay. Clearly, you've buried something deep inside of you that's trying to resurface, and there's no problem pushing that along.
That I will when I'm ready, okay?
Okay. Oh, don't forget to call Joshua in the morning. He's that guy who reached out to you about that social working job.
On my to-do list.
It should be first thing on your to-do list.
Nat, come on.
All right, but unemployment's running out, and I'm stretching this money as far as I can, but I'm going to need some help.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
Right. Looks like you talked him up. That was Josh. Tell me I got an interview tomorrow morning.
Oh, hi. Do you live here? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've dreamed of this for so long, of like, how you would look and...
Okay, hey, I have a job interview with Josh. Does he live here?
Yes. Mm-hmm. He does. Yes. Mm-hmm.
But I'm taking it he's not here now. Okay, can you do me a favor? Tell him that Tony King stopped by for the job interview, okay? And get some sleep.
You can't leave yet.
Actually, I can, because you're making all this pretty uncomfortable for me, so I'm gonna go.
Well, wait, there are things that we need to discuss, Ananias.
Welcome back. Out the Box Radio. We just had a first exclusive look from the Lightworkers, and what are you thinking, Jared? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I want to watch the next.
I do too.
Because I'm like, wait a minute.
I do too. Yeah.
Like you cut at the right exact moment.
Exactly.
When it's like, wait a minute.
I was expecting more to happen. I'm like, yes, get to the good part, and then it's whoosh.
I'm sure you know the phrase "lean in," right?
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
That little bit of a cliffhanger was definitely a lean in. I'm like, wait a minute, you can't just say that and then cut to black and say produced by Derek L. No.
See, that's what you gotta do to keep people watching.
Exactly.
Next episode.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the series really quick.
Sure.
How many episodes is this going to be for Lightworkers?
12.
12 episodes total. Okay. Now all this is currently on YouTube, correct?
Correct. So they're going to be airing week over week. So every Monday.
Okay.
So the next episode, October 2nd.
Is there a certain time that you're releasing it?
Midnight.
Okay, perfect.
It's up there, going from again the September 25th was the premiere all the way to December 11th. Will be the season finale.
Awesome. Ooh, I cannot wait to watch.
Yeah, that's
the entire series.
Yeah.
Super excited. So thank you again for even sharing that with us and allowing us to. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
We really want to talk about production some more, right?
Great.
So when you work with people, you work with problems, let's be honest. You work with challenges, you work with good moments, but you also work with the negative moments that you really don't want to focus on too much.
Right.
But I want to know, out of all your experiences, maybe the good ones more than not so good.
Okay.
In this question, what would you say your most favorite behind-the-scenes moment was throughout any of your productions?
Oh, man.
Any of your actors, actresses, you name it.
Behind the scenes moment
Yes.
or
Behind this, because those are like always the funnest moments.
Yeah.
Is behind the scenes.
I mean, you can like on this particular episode afterwards. There's like 17 minutes worth of bloopers.
Nice.
Not 17 minutes, but like 10 additional minutes of bloopers.
Nice.
We had a ball on this set. This definitely would be the best behind the scenes. I think it was the day that we worked. Everybody but one person actually was scheduled to work that day, and it was a 14-hour shoot.
Wow.
Everybody was there. I mean, the main cast, Honor was there. I mean,
Nice.
the whole cast, and it was just so much fun. We were just on joke time, and the thing was, I'm very animated.
Yeah.
So as you may have guessed,
Which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
I'm very animated. So the problem has been that when I'm acting with my co-stars, that they can't get through their scenes because I might make a face,
Right.
and they just lose it. And there was a scene where we just couldn't get through it. It was like the tear crying
Oh,
type
my
of,
goodness.
So those are the best moments.
I love
Lightworkers
that.
had some great behind the scenes moments. Just
I love
great.
that. And see, that's what makes the best bloopers.
It makes
Right.
the best bloopers because everybody wanted a blooper reel, and I
Yeah.
knew the first episode was very short. So when
Yeah.
I invited the cast over to watch the show, the first episode,
Yeah.
I knew I had to put something additional in there.
Definitely,
so it
definitely.
wouldn't be such a short visit.
Now, is it just the bloopers from the first episode? Are
No,
you?
season 1 bloopers.
Oh, so it's the whole
What?
season
Yeah,
bloopers.
so I went
Oh,
for
so
broke.
you? Yes.
Yeah.
So you
Man.
are releasing. Okay, so make sure everyone who goes
Yeah.
on YouTube and watches it, you watch the last half of it, which we did not show.
Right.
The last 10 minutes or so, which is going to be blooper. Oh, I'm going to go after the show and watch it.
It's just-
I love bloopers. I live for
But see,
bloopers.
hopefully the bloopers don't give away any spoilers.
And they don't.
Okay.
Well, good.
Because we can't get through many of the scenes.
Right, exactly. Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so there's
Well,
nothing
I'm
much
excited to see
happening.
this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Love
since you
bloopers.
want to always talk about the good stuff, I'll
Yes.
talk about the challenges.
Okay, let's
and
do
just
it.
from watching this episode, I know that it's very challenging to either get props or even like do any type of effects. Like we saw the the stabbing in the forest and then having blood on it. So what has been the most challenging thing about I almost say performing, but filming the light workers.
Right.
Oh, filming the light workers. Trying not to make it look cheesy. Number one thing.
Yeah.
It's such an important. I mean, and I'll pull my own card here. One of my first films I did, there was like one of the end scenes, and the guy found a secret book because he slammed on his brake, and then the glove compartment came out, and voila, there's the book. How convenient. I didn't want any of those type of moments where it's just very convenient. We wanted to make it realistic, and we wanted to make it look good.
Definitely.
So those things. And my director photographer, Jake Simpson, look him up. Phenomenal. Basically, if it looked too cheesy or it looked too soap opera-y, he would come up with a different suggestion to make it look right, even if it took us some time to get done. In the beginning, I would ask, how does that look? And he would be like, good, and I knew he would lie. But by the time we were done, by the time we got to the middle of it, he was good to go. He was able to tell us what looked good and what didn't. So that's the thing. Make it look authentic. We're talking about biblical times here. So it had, like that wood scene, it had to look real.
Had to look real.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so how can people follow you? That's my biggest question. We want everyone to follow you. Stay tuned into this series, The Lightworkers, Toll Booth coming out very soon.
Yes, Toll Booth October 25th.
October 25th, okay. And so we want people to be able to watch, follow, tune in, all the above. So give us your social media handles.
Yes.
You name it.
Social media is Derek L. Gray. And Derek is D-E-R-E-K.
Yes.
And
Spell
Gray,
it right, yes.
Yeah, L and Gray. Spelled like the color, not the T. So that's
Gotcha.
G-R-A-Y. Derek
Derek
L. Gray.
L. Gray.
That's right. Oh, you know what? Actually, I changed. That's my email at gmail.com. You can get a hold of me. But Derek Lewis Gray is my handle.
Gotcha.
On Facebook, Lewis.
Okay.
And that's how you can get in contact with me on Facebook, and Derek L. Gray on Instagram.
Make sure you reach out. Make sure you tune in, please, because we know we will be tuning in.
Exactly.
And we'll be catching all the tea from Honor because, she's always giving us the scoop.
Yeah, whenever Honor gets back. But I love you, Honor. Shout out. I miss you.
He misses you.
Since I came on the show, you haven't been here, so he takes
it personal. So we just let you know.
I'm taking it a little bit personal because we had a good time during that Warhead Challenge, but. Just get back here, Honor. I miss you.
Positive
uplifting programming on YouTube. You can get if you subscribe, you can get alerts each time an episode airs.
Make sure you subscribe all the time. Absolutely subscribe. Well, thank you so much, Derek, for coming in today.
Thank you so much.
Sitting with us and talking to us about your journey through the industry and many roles, many hats that you wear. Everyone will be tuning into the Lightworkers on YouTube and following you online. Please do so right now or when the show is over. We don't care. Do it today. Do it now. We are actually about to head out, but tune in next week. Out the Box Radio, we have a special guest. She's actually from Russia.
We was talking about her right before the show started.
And so on our way out, maybe we have a little clip to show. It's behind the scenes of a music video that she's doing, but she will be here next week, and we are super excited for that. She's dope. Can't wait. We'll see you next Wednesday. Out the Box Radio.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Today we're on set with Senya. Today we have a very full day planned.
Hear the music, feel your touch, and your voice whisper in.
Hi, my name is Brandy Allen, hair and makeup artist on the set of Senya's music video. Today the focus for the makeup was a fresh, edgy face. So that's what we're gonna play on today.
Hi, I'm Jason Sky. Today I am dressing the lovely Senya. Today we're going to kind of go with this whole vibe of evolving like a Russian Vogue moment. So it's going to be fun. It's kind of a cluster of things.
What up? This is Marcel Washington. It's 7 o'clock in the morning somewhere in West LA. Doing just some studio stuff. She's doing a great job. Hope you guys like the photos.
Hey, what's up? I'm Christopher Babers, and I'm directing Senya's Turn You On music video right now. We're setting up for a space pod scene. We have a bunch of cool tentacles happening, and it's turning out really, really lovely.
So here we go.